Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. When Honda first unveiled the Africa Twin back in the late 80s, it was more than just another dual-sport motorcycle, it was a statement. A declaration that adventure didn't need to be confined to maps or neatly drawn borders. Fast forward to 2025, and that spirit is alive and roaring in the all-new Honda Africa Twin 650. At first glance, this bike feels like a leaner, more agile descendant of the legendary 1100, crafted not to replace the big brother but to slot into a new dimension of adventure touring, one that's lighter, more affordable, and purpose-built for riders who crave a taste of the wild without the intimidation of a heavyweight machine. Whether you're an experienced ADV junkie or a street rider making your first foray into adventure territory, the Africa Twin 650 is designed to meet you where your dreams begin and take you further. Right away, you notice the design language is unmistakably Africa Twin. There's that signature rally-style fairing, tall windscreen, angular LED headlights with integrated DRLs that mimic the piercing gaze of the 1100, and a high stance that makes you feel like you're about to embark on a Dakar expedition, even if you're just commuting through city traffic. But compared to its larger sibling, the 650 carries itself with a slightly narrower profile and a touch more compactness, making it more approachable and easier to handle off-road. It's built on a semi-double cradle steel frame that's been re-engineered to reduce overall weight while maintaining rigidity, a critical balance for anyone planning to ride through gravel switchbacks one day and twisty mountain passes the next. At the heart of this new adventure machine is a 652 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine, tuned with a 270-degree crankshaft that delivers a satisfying thump, almost mimicking the character of a V-twin. It's a decision that pays dividends when you're looking for traction in the dirt, as the uneven firing order provides excellent rear-wheel control, especially at low revs. This engine puts out an impressive 67 horsepower at 8,500 RPM and 60 Nm of torque at 6,500 RPM, numbers that place it comfortably in the midweight ADV category. The engine is fed by a refined PGM-FI system with ride-by-wire throttle, giving you precise control across a variety of conditions. You're never left hunting for power, it's always there, smooth and ready, whether you're climbing steep rock-strewn inclines or powering through highway stretches. But Honda didn't stop at raw numbers, they made sure this engine felt alive. The throttle response is sharp but not twitchy. The low-end torque is generous, making it easier to ride in challenging terrain without constantly working the gearbox. And the exhaust note, deep, throaty, and slightly aggressive, reminds you this isn't just a downsized adventure machine. It's a proper tool for exploration. The 6-speed gearbox feels precise, and yes, Honda's dual-clutch transmission is offered as an optional upgrade. It's been tuned specifically for the 650's character, delivering buttery-smooth shifts with minimal lag. For those who prefer manual, the standard slipper clutch is light and responsive, especially useful when managing traction on loose surfaces. Speaking of surfaces, the suspension setup is exactly what you'd expect from an Africa Twin: long travel, confidence-inspiring, and ready for abuse. Up front, we get a 43mm Showa upside-down fork with 210mm of travel, fully adjustable for preload, rebound, and compression. Out back, there's a ProLink monoshock with 200mm of travel and a remote preload adjuster, so you can dial it in on the fly when adding luggage or a pillion. This isn't just spec sheet candy either, the damping is beautifully balanced, soaking up bumps and ruts while keeping the chassis stable during high-speed cornering. Whether you're riding solo or fully loaded for a multi-day trip, the bike feels planted and poised. Braking is handled by dual 296mm front discs with radial-mounted Nissan calipers and a 256mm rear disc. ABS comes standard, and it's switchable for the rear wheel, essential when riding off-road. The feel at the lever is progressive, and the stopping power is more than adequate for a bike of this size. Combined with the 21-inch front and 18-inch rear spoked wheels wrapped in tubeless dual-sport tires, the Africa Twin 650 offers the kind of all-terrain capability that's rarely matched in this displacement category. Whether you're navigating through sandy trails, wet forest roads, or rough tarmac, you get the impression that this bike is always in control, always ready. And then there's the ergonomics. Honda clearly spent time refining the rider triangle for long hours in the saddle. The seat height is adjustable between 840mm and 860mm, with a narrow midsection that makes it surprisingly easy to flatfoot, even for shorter riders. The handlebars are wide and offer plenty of leverage, while the foot pegs are positioned perfectly for standing up during technical sections. Wind protection is surprisingly effective for a midweight bike, with the windscreen offering just the right amount of deflection, and optional taller screens are available for those planning longer highway hauls. The seat itself is firm but supportive, built for endurance rather than plushness. It's the kind of perch that encourages you to keep going, to push one more ridge, to explore one more path on the map. Technology-wise, Honda kept things smart and rider-focused. The 2025 Africa Twin 650 comes with a 5-inch TFT color display that's bright, responsive, and intuitive to navigate. It supports both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, making it easy to manage navigation, calls, and music through your helmet communicator. For riding modes, Tour, Urban, Gravel, and User, adjust power delivery, ABS sensitivity, and traction control, letting you tailor the bike's behavior to your needs. Traction control itself is adjustable across 3 levels and can be turned off entirely, which off-road purists will appreciate. There's also an optional quickshifter, heated grips, and cruise control, yes, even on the 650, which adds serious long-distance comfort to the equation. Fuel range is another highlight. With an 18-liter tank and a claimed average fuel consumption of around 25 to 28 km/L, you're looking at a real-world range of over 400 kilometers. That's plenty of breathing room for remote journeys, especially when fuel stops become scarce. The Africa Twin 650 is a bike that invites detours, and thanks to its frugal engine and generous tank, you can say yes to every single one. The styling, meanwhile, pays homage to its Dakar roots with just enough modern flair to keep things current. The color schemes for 2025 include the classic tricolor white-blue-red, a stealthy matte ballistic black metallic, and a bold Sahara santan that practically screams, "Ride me to the desert." Now let's talk pricing, which might be the most compelling part of the whole package. The 2025 Honda Africa Twin 650 is expected to launch globally with a base price around $9,999, undercutting many of its competitors in the midweight ADV category. The DCT model bumps the price up to around $10,799, while a fully loaded variant with all accessories, crash guards, aluminum panniers, tall windscreen, and heated grips lands just below $12,000. For what you're getting, a bike with genuine off-road chops, real touring credentials, Honda reliability, and modern tech, that's a phenomenal value proposition. When we talk about unique selling points, it's hard to pin down just one. Is it the accessible seat height that opens up adventure riding to a broader audience? Is it the inclusion of DCT at this price point, making it easier than ever to ride in tricky terrain without worrying about clutch work? Or is it simply the overall balance, the way Honda has managed to distill the DNA of the full-sized Africa Twin into a package that's more agile, more affordable, and arguably more versatile? The answer is probably all of the above. And that's what makes this bike so special. It's not trying to be a stripped-down version of something greater, it's trying to be the best at what it is. And in doing so, it becomes greater in its own right. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more immersive motorcycle reviews. We've got a lot more coming your way, from modern classics to fire-breathing hypersports, only here on Bike Culture Hub. Ride safe, stay curious, and as always, keep the throttle open.